Once again, welcome back to the Xuan character reviews. And our next character is... So finally, after a million years, Andrei is here, and he was probably the longest expected of the characters, and after him, there's still one more character from the polls to be revealed. And after that, who knows what's going to happen in the game. Whatever, we had already seen some leaks and pics from this guy until now that we can check at his complete design. Andrei is a Russian boxer, so he brings along yet another nationality to include in the roster and increase the diversity. It is interesting how in fighting games there had never been a Russian boxer before him. We had white boxers, black boxers, even Native American boxers, but never a Russian boxer. As you may guess, Andrei is partially inspired in Ivan Drago from Rocky IV, and so he brings a different kind of cold masculine energy to the game. So the concept of this character is being a proud Russian, and it says his motivation to enter the tournament is to represent Russia and make his country proud. Basically, he is like Zangief, but in boxing. And I think that's fair because we all love Zangief. Okay, so let's check Andrei's design. His physique is quite interesting and quite different to all those Asian anime guys. He has light blonde hair, very short and in an European hairstyle, a goatee beard, blue eyes, and he looks handsome yet tough. His outfit is not very uncommon in the core: boxing gloves, bare chest, pants, and boots. Well, at least he discards the commonplace of short pants and instead he sports these dark red pants that look, well, not bad at all. So in the basics of the design, Andrei is kind of similar to Prejude, but yeah, both of them are professional martial artists, so it's not surprising. I thought the color palettes were going to be like exactly the same, but Andrei's pants are of darker red. So they had to find another way to improve Andrei's design, and therefore they added a whole ton of gimmicks. First, the boots are wrapped in, you guessed it, bands. Again, not uncommon for character designs on this game. Next, we have the signature communist belt. I guess it's his belt of boxing champion of Russia. Golden in color, it has the Soviet star on it, the hammer and the sickle. Well, not bad, but not really special either. At least it's a good way to remark on this character's country. The Russian star and some other letters, I have no idea what is about in his red gloves too. Okay, then the weirdest thing is that Andrei wears some very strange gear composed of, it seems, a harness of leather bands that wrap around his arms, chest, and for some reason even a metallic shoulder pad. Is that allowed in traditional boxer? I doubt so. But well, I guess it's added as a detail on the military strength of Russia, you know, the Iron Curtain. This had been announced yet in the form of this cyberpunk or whatever soldier costume. Well, the shoulder part doesn't make sense to me, but at least you can say it makes him very unique. Another minor thing is like this tattoo on his chest written in Cyrillic letters. What does it say? I have no idea. I don't even know if it should be read like this, or if it is mirrored, since they swap the image back and forth so much. And finally, the gloves have this amulet around that looks like a chain but more like a talisman. Well, it's an easy guess, it is a detail on the Orthodox Church, you know, the iconoclast religion that they have in Russia. In game, the chain doesn't look very detailed, and well, it looked at first time it was the ring of Saturn or something rather weird. So that is basically Andrei's design, and as I told you, it's very simple in the core. And that's the reason why they decided to add this ton of gimmicks, which also take advantage of to emphasize this character's national identity. It's actually not bad since it seems he was created to be a sort of super Russian, kind of a very proud fanatic, and it's not unbelievable he will bring all those things that show off his culture to the battles. The good thing is that they found a good balance on this character design, and the whole pack doesn't look overcharged despite of the abundance of details. The only thing I will take away will be the shoulder pad because I still don't really get it, but well, it can be tolerated with no heart to the design. So Andrei is a good design overall. He also has a ton of cool alternate costumes, some of them reflect the military context of Russia, some others simply take advantage of his tough guy look. And well, here you have my favorites. And now let's go with the gameplay. Well, we had Shang first, who was more like a mix between wrestler and street boxer in the beginning. Then he became a pure grappler in the end, and so the boxing thing went to the shit. But Andrei is a full-blooded pro boxer, so it was going to be very different. None of the old Chango's moves were recovered for him, and yeah, still damn missed them, but whatever, they gave Andrei a different and more technical gameplay. The most interesting thing was that they gave him a lot of target combos. Although most of the characters from the KOF generation are characterized by that, in Andrei's case there are so many that most of his combo video is dedicated to his target combos. And as you may guess, that reminds us of Dudley, and well, they took the idea of including different combos, both standing and crouching, to imply the mastery of these characters' boxing skills. And well, the footsies, if you go metafictional, as they call him in the fighting game community. Andrei's special moves on the other side are, well, kind of original, kind of not, and kind of very special, but overall his gameplay doesn't resemble that tightly to any other boxing character. No matter if some of the poses, animations, and that are taken from other fighters. And some of them are, well, more like straight and clear homages, like this part of his super that has no other reason of being than honoring Vanessa and Rick from SNK. And well, beyond the target combos, the advanced part of Andrei's gameplay comes with the cancels and resets. This character has very good tools to reset some of his attacks and extend his combos. The first one is the classic dodge. The second one, that reset follow-up of his Rambo super. I think no other characters then, well maybe Vanessa especially in KOF 11 had tried this, and it gives Andrei like very brutal tools to exploit, but they will be hard to master for sure. So as a pro boxer, Andrei has everything to satisfy the players who like that kind of characters because of their technical gameplay. If the idea was to pummel to dust an opponent with a lot of technical and precise boxing punches, then I guess he has covered it very well. And finally, his hidden super has him entering into an unbeatable state in which he won't stop from anything, and being such an offensive character that's pretty terrifying. They even made him invulnerable to throws, which was a pretty clever idea, so add one more to the list. In conclusion, Andrei's gameplay is very good. Well, honestly, maybe a little too good. He is a little overpowered, especially because of his shock punch attack, that's maybe too quick and has very good invincibility plus defense value. But I guess he's going to be eventually fixed, so no real problem here. And about the visuals, Andrei's visuals are just fine, nothing really that impressive that we haven't seen in other characters, like the shattering screen. Whatever, I like so much this shadow boxing effect in his Super Rambo. It looks so clear and epic, well it starts up weird in the end when the things kind of invert. So let's go with Andrei's charisma. Andrei is for sure somebody to respect, he is nothing but a hard worker and a very nationalist guy. There's nothing really negative in that, or at least that we know yet, but he seems to be a good guy. And well, I guess that of making their country proud is sort of a common thing in the mind of a sportsman. Oh, and his common moves are named after war terms. But whatever, Andrei has not much charisma for this race. He is a righteous nationalist guy and everything, but he's kind of boring. Especially because of his voice.
Good! Very good!
I really wanted him to speak Russian, but he speaks English.
For mother and honor. I will not give up.
I guess because they couldn't find any Russian actor or even someone to translate the names of his moves.
1, 2, 3, 4. Get you. Get you. Finish you.
Within the story, they justify that by saying he speaks English as well as Russian, and that he is training in the United States, so his battle cries are in English because he is practicing his language skills. Pretty ridiculous. And well, I guess that's the exact same reason why they say Chino was only half German and half Chinese. What comes in handy with the story, but yeah, I'll talk about that in a previous video. On Andrei's case, he has no real part on the story, other than just being a participant of the tournament. But what else do you want for a professional martial artist? And his voice is, well, very awkward to say the least. I don't know if the actor was trying to imitate a Russian accent or what, but it sounds too rough and, well, pretty awful.
Mom, I will always be with you.
I don't know, I really expected a more refined voice for a character who is kind of handsome, but he sounds more like a very brutish person.
Get you down. Andrei charge. Andrei special.
But well, I guess the voice still fits the character, but the actor doesn't contribute at all with the charisma and the effect is pretty awkward. Probably the most awkward character in that aspect, and yes, that includes Shiva.
Oh, my darling!
The funniest part of all this is that while Andrei is supposed to be speaking English, his dialogues are pretty unintelligible.
A winner. I triumphed again.
This is not even Chinglish, I mean a Chinese speaker trying to speak English. Well, this is probably a Chinese speaker pretending he's a Russian speaker that is trying to speak English. I mean, what? They probably had some inspiration of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I will be back. Oh.
Well, at least they gave him a little more dialogues than the other characters, and that's at least a little more entertaining, I guess. So in the end, I find the audio department to be the only weak spot of this character, because with a little better effort in the voice acting, this character could have been one of my favorites. Now, I just don't like it as much as I could have. So, as of my conclusion, Andrei seems to offer a very good gameplay, and of course, we needed a boxer in the game. So it's good they made an atypical choice to flesh out this character as a design. However, the only aspect in which they dropped the ball and dropped it hard wasn't the charisma. How bad that is, and if that makes him a bad character or not, well, that's up to you. Regardless of that, after all these months waiting for Andrei, all we can say is, welcome, comrade. See you in the next review and thanks for watching.
You winner. Call me the Red Soldier.